You are now entering Clearview, Illinois. The name of tonight's tale is Don't Look Left.
Gordon was always looking for material because the world was a monster that had an insatiable hunger for content. He had built his YouTube channel to a moderate success through any means he could. This week he may do a reaction video. Next week he may stream video games. He even did man-on-the-street pranks if he felt his viewership wasn't climbing in a way he deemed correct. Unfortunately for him, he had hit a dry spell. When Gordon saw his numbers plateauing, he began to panic, and he found it harder and harder to sleep. But instead of fighting it, he leaned into it. In the middle of the night, he decided to go for a ride. Though in Clearview there was very little open, so he found himself drifting towards the Last Bastion Hotel and Casino. The place was alive and popping, even at 1 a.m. in the morning. The architecture was grand in scope. It was patently modern, but built with the undeniable geometry of ancient design. Gordon, oddly enough, wasn't a gambler, but he decided to lean into his insomnia, bought a coffee, and sat next to a machine. He even started live streaming, but after several minutes of no engagement or activity, he lost interest and mindlessly played on the penny machines. Gordon couldn't have told you when or how long he was there, but an old man sat down next to him. He was grizzled in a way that suggested he lived a real life, but Gordon couldn't quite tell at a glance. After a few minutes of silence and the sounds of the casino pervading Gordon's subconscious, the old man spoke.
Say, youngster, what is it you call it you were doing with the phone a while back?
I was live streaming, Gordon said while mindlessly pushing the buttons of the slot machine.
That's like when you're talking to the world?
Asked the old-timer.
Yeah, sort of, though that's not the case with me tonight, Gordon explained. Oh, what's that mean?
The senior asked with genuine curiosity.
It means,
you don't care, Gordon said in defeat. The old man looked offended.
Son, I'm from a generation that had attention spans and don't believe in political correctness, so you don't have to worry about if I like or dislike what you say. I'll absolutely hear about it.
Gordon nodded and felt a bit embarrassed. He questioned his resolve.
I'm sorry. When you live stream, you have the potential to talk to the world, but not me, because I'm not getting anyone's attention.
Well,
you have mine now, son. What's the pitch?
Gordon smiled. If he wasn't so unbelievably down, he may have been annoyed by this exchange, but seeing that he was, he had nothing but time.
I was just telling everyone what I was doing.
Oh yeah? Then what?
That was all?
Yeah.
So why would people want to see that?
Gordon shrugged. He didn't know why, but when you were popular enough, people would watch you eat a ham sandwich and unironically enjoy it. In some ways, Gordon felt a little stupider for admitting that to himself and saying it out loud.
So, what's the purpose of all this? You doing it to get famous? For money?
Asked the old man. Gordon didn't know, and only after saying it did he question any of it.
I don't really know why. I'm just an old man, and I don't really know what people want these days, but perhaps I can give you a suggestion.
Gordon was curious to hear the answer to this, not because he thought he'd give him good advice, but because he absolutely thought he'd say something ridiculous, like he should invest in pork bellies or something.
If you can't figure out what the people want, you may as well give them something they've never seen before. You ever thought to do content about your own town? Do you know just how much goes on right here in your own backyard?
Gordon shook his head, and as those in his generation might say, let the old man cook.
It surprised me just how many kids your age don't know or believe what Clearview is. It's like that phone has you in its grips. You see everything, but you still don't know anything.
The old man shook his head as if to whisk away the rant.
You should look into things that happen right here. Like what?
Gordon dared to interject.
Like, did you know we lead the country in unsolved mysteries relative to our population? We have more UFO sightings than Roswell, New Mexico, and the least amount of government intervention in all America.
I didn't, but what does that mean?
It means that there is an infinite number of actual things to talk about that you don't talk about.
Gordon had to admit he was intrigued, and the old man had painted a very impressive picture. The old man smiled when he saw he had captured Gordon's imagination.
I can see you're thinking about it. Good. These stories need to be told. But if you do choose to go this route, I have to say,
the old man stopped abruptly, as if he remembered something important.
Some things you just don't say out loud. It may be superstitious, or may be common sense, may be bullshit.
The old man scribbled something on a white napkin. When he stood up, he placed it in the seat, face down.
If you ever do decide you want to really talk about something worth talking about, that's the only rule you have to follow.
The old man tipped an invisible hat, then wandered off without further commentary. Gordon watched the old-timer go. He was a mild distraction from his insomnia, that's all it was to him. Gordon kept playing the slots until he finally felt his eyes droop from sleep. When he moved to leave, he looked at the old man's vacant seat and noticed the napkin sitting there. Gordon assumed it was his phone number, but then again, he spoke in such a weird way when he wrote it. Maybe it wasn't. Gordon took a quick peek at the napkin, and all it said was, "Don't look left." He flipped over the note a few times, even turned it inside out, but that was all it said. He threw the note in the trash and didn't think twice about it. On the drive home, Gordon struggled to keep his eyes open. 2 days of no true sleep had finally caught up to him. In his half-conscious state, he noticed a girl riding her bike on the side of the road. She was a teenager wearing an Argyle high jumpsuit. Gordon thought it was much too early or far too late for someone her age to be outside, but perhaps she was a track star or an athlete, getting some sort of early morning workout. Gordon's eyes drooped, and in that split second of distraction, the girl on the bike cut in front of his car. He was fully shocked awake. He jerked his wheel. Before he knew it, in the span of eye blinks, the girl hit his windshield and rolled off the roof. Gordon swerved onto the shoulder of the road, and for the briefest of seconds, he thought to just keep on driving. Tonight was the night he listened to his better angels. He took panic breaths, but the moment he slowed down to a manageable level of stress, he willed himself to get out of the car. To his surprise, he saw nothing. No girl, no bike, no blood, no signs that any of this ever happened. It all felt so real, the impact, the girl. But all signs pointed to it being a figment of his imagination produced by his sleep-deprived mind. As the moment passed and he accepted this instance as illusion, he noticed the girl in a bloody Argyle high jumpsuit look at him from where the road met the woods. She looked at him with eerie, impassive eyes, then all but disappeared into the forest. "What the fuck?" Gordon uttered to himself. After that night, Gordon did his research and became all but obsessed with Clearview's unique history. He found compelling tidbits of information like how the first Clearview disappeared without a trace, and that it was at one time Native American land. He began to restructure his entire YouTube channel around the unexplained things that happened in this small town. His content fell victim to its own success, and the insatiable beast that craved content was soon upon him. All his content started to become ghost hunting. Gordon started to do live streaming again, except this time he wasn't greeted by empty rooms. He found that he had amassed quite a few followers. On a Monday night stream, he went into a story, a harrowing urban legend that happened in Clearview High School years ago. He began to get messages of people asking him, "What is that thing on the left of you?" Gordon couldn't ignore this in good conscience and checked his room. He found nothing. If it was an instance of one or two people saying such things, he'd have chalked it up to trolls. But this was persistent and came from some of his staunch true believers. When he asked them to describe what they saw, they all had wildly different explanations, but the one constant was movement in the deepest darkness. Gordon didn't take any of this lightly. Being immersed in the lore of Clearview gave him a healthy newfound paranoia for the supernatural. After a long night of studying at his computer, Gordon heard whispers from his door. At first, he believed that someone may have broken into his house. With the lights of his computer screen, he heard the anonymous chatter coming from his closet door to his left. Gordon didn't hesitate. He ran to the light switch and turned it on for dear life. There was nothing. He slept with his lights on that night. The next day, Gordon recalled the old man and his cryptic note, "If you ever get too deep, don't look left." Could this be that? Gordon didn't tempt fate, and he decided to put all his investigations on hold until he could get to the bottom of this. For 2 nights, the voices called to him, but he ignored them, and the more he ignored it, the less frequent it happened. After 2 weeks of his viewership numbers slipping, he decided that maybe he could find the old man and figure out what it all actually meant. Gordon made a trek back to the last bashing casino at approximately the same time he did when he spotted the old-timer. He did not show up. Gordon trekked down a long, deserted hallway. He heard a weak voice to his left, which he thought said, "Hey kid," but he couldn't make it out. He looked left. He saw an unnaturally dark threshold that blazed black. Gordon was never seen again.
You are now exiting Clearview, Illinois. Hope you enjoyed the trip.